Hi guys, this is Scott Devine for scotsbasslessons.com. Check out my website if you want to see my other lessons that I've got up. Today I'm going to be talking about minor 251s. The examples that I will use will all be in the key of C minor, because that'll just keep it easy for us. So the chords of a 251 in C minor are D minor half diminished, that's your 2 chord, G7 for your 5 chord, normally with a flat 9 and flat 13, and C minor. When I first started to improvise many moons ago, not that many moons ago, but you know, quite a long time ago, over minor 251 specifically, I always had problems because my improvisations were arpeggio based. And that's great, but I felt like I was slightly tied into each bar. I felt like I had to make the change, you know. That first bar I had to play D half diminished, the next bar I had to play G7, the next bar I had to play C minor, and that's just not the case. You can play through the changes using key centers and other substitutions, and today I'm going to show you what they are. Just a quick list of the arpeggios. I'll just take you through the arpeggios so you know exactly what they are. The D half diminished is D, F, A flat, C, D. That's D, F, A flat, C, D. The G7 5 chord is G, B, D, F, G. And the 1 chord, the C minor, is obviously C, E flat, G, B flat, and C. When you're practicing your arpeggios, make sure you practice them all over the neck, you know, from all fingers. There's no use just knowing that C minor arpeggio, you know, you've got to learn C minor here, 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 here. You know, you've got to learn it all over. It's just, I know it's quite hard work to begin with, but once you get it under your fingers, you'll be fine. And you need to do that with all your arpeggios, you know, your minors, your minor flat 5s, your dominants and stuff like that. So once you've got that down, and you can play around a minor 251 just using arpeggios, I'm going to show you in a minute, then you want to start looking at key centers. But just before we do that, I'll just give you a quick demonstration of, and just over this minor 251, I'm simply going to use arpeggio notes. I'm going to try to use just arpeggio notes anyway. I do apologise if I use some other notes. There's the 2 chord. There we go. 2 chord. There's the 5. There's 2 chord. 5. 1. So there I was simply using just arpeggios. Now, if you want to solo over a minor 251 in a key center style, like on a major 251, D minor G7, C major 7, your key center would be C major 7. So you just use the C major scale over all of it. In a minor key, there is some problem notes, mainly the G7 chord in C minor, in the key of C minor anyway. So you've got 2, which is D half diminished, G7, then C minor. On the G7 chord, the 3rd of G7 is B. Now, that B isn't in, you know, the scale of C natural minor. C natural minor is C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. So that scale, it is usable to a certain extent, but if you really want to make the dominant chord stand out and make it sound like you're making the changes, on the 251, you've got to get that B in. Now the scale that does have the B in is the C harmonic minor. So over the minor 251, C minor 251, if you want to play one scale throughout the whole thing, go for the C harmonic minor. Now when it gets to the 1 chord, obviously you can play the B, which is in the C harmonic minor. Actually, I'll just show you a C harmonic minor now. C harmonic minor is C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B, C. You'll have heard that sound before. There you go. It's got that sort of, you know, Spanishy kind of sound to it, I suppose. Yeah, so you can use that scale over the entire thing. When it gets to the 1 chord, you can revert back to the C natural minor, which has the B flat in it. But you can get away with the B as well. You know, you can play around with it. Don't feel like so tied into it, you know. Music is linear. It happens over, you know, through time. Don't feel tied into bars. Play through the bars. Now I'm going to give you a demonstration over that same minor 251, and now I'm just going to play C harmonic minor. And I'm actually going to play C harmonic minor on the 1 chord as well, which shouldn't work, but it does. All I've got to be aware is I can't really resolve on that B, on the B on the C minor, because obviously the C minor has got a B flat in it. So I've just got to be careful when I'm doing that. Here we go. Check this out. So this is all C harmonic minor. There's the harmonic minor. There's the B. B. Yeah, so there you saw I just played right through harmonic minor. So if you want to play key centre wise, that's the scale to use. And there's minor 251s all over, you know, standards and stuff like that. So you'll really be able to sort of like check that out. There's going to be a part 2 to this tutorial as well, which is going to basically address the use of melodic minor scales in 251s, in minor 251s, and which options you've got there and how to apply them. See you soon. Bye.